Welcome back to the Ambassadors of Gaming. We are continuing our interview series today. I'm one in your collection of hosts, Michael, and today I will be interviewing our good friend Darrell.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is in the world for you guys. How you going?
It's always a different time zone. we're separated into what, two time zones? Because I think you, Billy, and Jordan are all in the same zone, right? Or at least close.
Yeah, UK is all pretty much. If it's at 10 o'clock in the morning here, it's 10 o'clock in the morning for Billy, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning for Jordan.
That's what I thought, but I could never remember. Time zones are not taught very well in the U.S. We can't even remember our own time zones, to be honest. So, like, how far is California? What time zone is that? 1, 2, So, but yeah, we're continuing the interview series. Really, we're just kind of getting in depth with everybody and just, I think, having a fun conversation, just kind of letting everybody know, who we are, what we're into, kind of how our habits formed, or what we're really into. Like, for example, with Jason, we talked a lot about, he's one of the few in the group that actually plays mobile games, or at least, like, he genuinely enjoys playing mobile games. In addition to playing on PC, he mostly plays PC, mobile, and Switch. So, but you're more all over the place in terms of consoles, right? At least throughout the generations you've been.
Oh gosh, what consoles have I gamed on over the years? Mega Drive, or what you guys call Genesis, the original NES, the SNES, the N64, GameCube, Wii, PC, Atari, Commodore 64, Spectrum, Amstrad, Amiga. I've used the old BBC Acorns.
What are those?
Various PCs.
The BBC ones.
Yeah, you'd have to Google it. I think things like Elite could play on them back in the day.
Was it like a little handheld thing, or was it like a?
It was a old computer, very old and not very powerful.
Oh, okay, I see it. That's really interesting. Yeah, it's very similar to like what was it pronounced? How do you pronounce it? Amiga, right? Amiga, that's what it was. Yeah, I'm only really familiar with them from like Angry Video Game Nerd, because that was all prior to my time. The first console I remember ever seeing was a 64. So
yeah, if you Google or put on YouTube, like, say, the Amstrad tape loading screen, you get this horrible noise, and it's like a 70-minute long video of all this horrible noise. I remember sitting through that.
Yeah, I'm sure, because they used to use more tapes and discs, right, for like PCs.
Yeah, Amstrad and Spectrum were tapes, so I'd click get in from school, want to play a game, put the game onto load. I could have me tea, come back up and play my game.
Right. Yeah, it took forever back in the day, because like I said, my exposure to those is very limited. So that's particularly like why I thought it would be interesting to discuss that kind of stuff, because like a lot of people now, at least I would say a good portion of the gaming community is past the point of like being familiar with the SNES. You know what I mean? Being familiar with the NES. And I'm not, from personal experience. I've only played emulations of those games, for the most part.
Yeah, I remember Duck Hunt with the gun.
Yeah,
and the dog laughing at you. Yeah, I remember that.
I always thought that was way ahead of its time. Like, I know it's like mocked now as like being really crap. You know what I mean? Like, just not being very good. But like for the time, it's the same thing. Like, we mocked like whatever, the Virtual Boy. But like in theory, like they were way ahead of the curve. But
I mean, games have changed dramatically. I mean, obviously you can go visuals, but load times. I mean, I had a football game with Championship Manager. I can't remember what it was on. Was it PC, Amiga? Can't remember. Probably be PC.
Yeah.
You load it in, and to initialize the database, you'd go in it, and it took 2 hours before you could play it.
Jesus, every time you booted it up?
No, it was just the once. It was just the first. Every time you started a new game. Yeah, not every time.
That's still pretty brutal. Because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but those systems were dedicated to playing those games, just like the NES, right? They weren't like home computers you could use in addition to playing games on them.
You could do some programming on, like, say, an Amstrad or a Commodore. The Amiga had some art things on, and you've got like the Apple Mac,
Right.
which had graphics things, but it was only when PC where you could start to do multi things. Like,
Once Windows came around, you mean? Like Windows and Mac?
yeah,
Yeah, because Linux was before that, right? Or no? I'm not familiar.
God.
I know Linux is like an older based one that most people don't even use or even know about at this point.
Oh, I remember Linux, like Windows NT, and
Right.
I had Windows 2000 and also.
Yeah, because the first one I recall was 98, I think. Windows 98. But that's because people didn't upgrade back in the day like we do now, you know? Like I knew people that were running 98 forever.
Yeah, because it was Windows, was it Windows 3.1, Windows 95, 98, 98 SE or something, 2000. And then it just started changing, yeah.
Yeah, being crazy. Yeah, because every time Windows updates now, it's like absurd. Like the jump between, XP to 7 to 8 to 10 are just totally different. Like
95 to 90, it wasn't that big.
Yeah, I figured not, because when I recalled, the biggest thing I recall seeing was the visual overhauls in XP. You know what I mean? And I was like, holy crap, this is like so pretty. Like at the time, whatever, I'm like 12 or some shit. Because like, school districts don't really get updates that often either on their computers. So we were running Windows XP, I think, by the time Windows 7 came out. We were still running XP.
I mean, I've seen platform fanboyism for a while. I mean, we have now PS4 versus Xbox, and it's like
Right.
PS4 only fans will bash anything. Xbox comes out, and then vice versa. I've seen it with PS3 360.
Yeah.
We've had like the PS2, PS1. I remember Mega Drive and Nintendo Sega. There was a thing.
Was it the same way with Sega and like Nintendo back in the day as it is PS, PlayStation, and Xbox now? Is it like the same idea? No, not nearly as
bad. No. You could get disagreements when you had the Amiga, because the Amiga came out with competed with the Atari ST.
Yeah.
People argued over it, but then you didn't have the option to review bomb games.
Yeah, that's true. Review bombing is horrible.
When I was gaming, we didn't have this thing called the internet. We couldn't have the World Wide Web.
There was a time before the internet.
There was. I remember doing games online and getting knocked off the connection because somebody rang the phone.
Yep. I know that's like an old meme now, but yeah, it really used to be like that.
I remember dial-up and the horrible noise it made when you tried to sign in.
Yeah, it really was an atrocious abomination of a sound.
Yeah, the lovely days of America online. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Oh, God, how the mighty have fallen. No, they still sell
AOL
that.
Has gone.
Or did they? Because the last time I saw, they were still selling like their subscription as AOL, like being a browser still, which was super weird to me. Like I kind of got where AOL was coming from, but it was shit.
So I've gone through various games and
I thought that would be the most interesting thing probably to discuss, or at least the thing I'm most interested in, is because you've just been through so many of the generations compared to the rest of us. Because like I said, I don't really recall much prior to PS1 and 64. I don't think anybody in my family even had older systems. So for me, like that's where gaming starts in my mind, and I didn't even really know too much about NES, SNES, and just like the games that used to be made that were really great, but also like how expensive they used to be in retrospect.
I think most of my early gaming in the 80s was on the Amstrad and some of the some of the games they had. There was what's it? Harrier Attack. It was a vertical, it was a horizontal scrolling thing. There was a maze one where it was literally, it's like a mummy one where you literally had a screen of literally 9 squares. It was visually they were very, very basic. Something that you could probably
Yeah.
do 10 times better in Microsoft Paint.
Right.
But back then,
That was a big deal.
we thought nothing of it. They were big.
Yeah.
So having a corner of a square come out, like a roadway, and a character come out was mind-boggling in the early 80s. But you look at it now and go, ugh.
Right.
We've got photorealism. You compare, say, Detroit Become Human and some of the character details and that to some of the things from generations ago. It's boggling.
It really is. Because, and nostalgia also really does a lot to you, too. Because, like, I was playing, I've played the original Mega Man games. The first collection. I think it's 1 through 6. I could be wrong about that. I think it's 1 through 5, maybe, actually. They actually look really good ever since they, like, touched them up or whatever. But if you go back and you watch, like, older videos, it was way fuzzier than it is now, obviously, with the touch-ups. So, like, and where I was going with that is, like, even animation in general. Because, like, I remember with nostalgia, of course, that Pixar, like, the first Toy Story, I imagine in my mind, like, when I remember Toy Story, I think of, like, Detroit level detail, you know what I mean? But, like, I looked up the dog from Pixar, like, from the Toy Story, and he looks horrible now. Like, so my nostalgia is a bit weird, but, like, even then, like, at the time, that was fucking crazy, you know? So I totally understand that.
I mean, you look at the Spectrum. It was a Spectrum. It was a 48K. So when you think the memory was 48K,
Mm.
you get JPEGs bigger than that.
Yep. Shit. Most resolution now is megs, at least. For photos, some photos take up, you know, asinine amounts, and video even more. And games are just massive.
So when you think of somebody with like 48K memory, or they had 128K memory,
It's not much, yeah. It's really not. And now we're like, we don't have enough power, and we got, like, you know, we can't even begin to describe how much more powerful they are, because I don't know the mathematics on it, but they're significantly more powerful, you know. So I guess with one of the things I have on here that I thought was important is habit, and by habit I mean, like, your not only, like, when you play games, or, like, how often you play games. Because, like, I forget, I was talking with Billy the other day, and I don't recall when we were discussing this, but I was like, I always think Darrell's, like, super busy, and I know you are. Like, I know you got a lot going on in your personal life and stuff, but I'm like, I'm like, he's super busy, but then he beats all these games, and then I'm like, oh yeah, he doesn't sleep either. So I guess when it comes to your habits, how do you feel like, because you play and beat a lot of games, a lot more than you would think, given, you know, your time available.
I never really think about it. I will sit in game when I can, or do whatever. I'll watch a film or TV when I can, and
Yeah.
I just try to manage my time for me effectively.
Right.
And
Go ahead.
as also when you've had kids and things like that, you sort of learn that little sleep can become commonplace.
I figured as much.
Because I've gone from the person that would go to bed at, like, say 10 o'clock at night and sleep till about, say, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that now.
No.
I I go to bed when my mind and body are physically done for the day.
Yeah.
So I just put in the time I have, and
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because that's more or less how I operate now too. And I don't even have kids, but I'm just like, man, I'll try to manage it with the time that I got available, you know. But I assume, when we were kids, I don't know what the culture was like over in the UK, especially how different it was when you were growing up. So like, would you say you play more or less the same now as you did then?
um, no, yes and no. I did. Well, we didn't really have many growing up. We didn't have first-person shooters. They really took off in the 90s.
Yeah.
So in the 80s, we didn't have first-person shooters.
Hmm.
We had racing games, we had sports games. So for football, or what a lot of the world calls soccer,
Right.
we have Pro Evolution Soccer pairs, or whatever you want to call it, or those and other parts of the world that I may be wrong on this, so feel free to correct. It might be called Winning 11 in some countries, from memory, or FIFA. Then we had Kickoff, and those micro pros did sports games.
Hmm.
We had things like Outrun, Turbo, Spy Hunter, with various racing games. Oh, we had RPGs. We've had the Zelda games have been around for a while. Final Fantasy's been around a while.
Right.
We didn't have things like Witcher. We didn't have things like Skyrim.
Right. Not to that
Um,
level of depth.
no,
I think
we had
that's
platform games have been around a while because we think
yeah.
Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, the Dizzy Egg games. People
Yeah.
are probably listening go, Dizzy Egg? Yes, there is a character called Dizzy who is an egg, and it's a series of games by, I believe, Codemasters.
Interesting.
And I can see Mike googling this to say, what the hell is he on about?
I am
Google
indeed.
Dizzy Egg, and you'll
I,
find it. It's a little white egg with red gloves and red boots.
that's so strange. Yeah. That's so funny. It's a Commodore game. Yeah. I feel like maybe I've seen this on like Angry Video Game Nerd, but maybe I haven't. But yeah, this is definitely from that era.
If you want to see an example of the visuals I get, I don't know how well Google will give you this. Google Roland on the Ropes Amstrad and see if it gives you an image of what it looks like, or even
Rolling
a
on the Ropes
video.
Amstrad.
Yeah, Amstrad.
Yeah, wow, that's funky. That
Yeah,
definitely looks like
I had that, but when I got my Amstrad, it wasn't a color screen; it was green, so it was green and
yeah,
basically
everything was just
dark green.
green. Yeah, because it used to
And then when
just
I got
be monocolor, right? Green and black.
yeah, and then I got a color on it, and it was like, wow, I was mind blown.
Yeah, because like my parents are older than most of people in my generation's age, so like my parents actually like had black and white TV before colored TV came out, and they would tell me the same sorts of things. Like, oh, I remember getting a colored TV and was like, holy crap, I can see colors and everything is so much better than it was in black and white. And I'm sure some of that has to do with the technology also increasing as well to make things clearer than I assume they were on
I mean,
black and white.
I'm sitting here looking at my games on the Xbox screen as we're doing this because I'm
Mhm.
just installing stuff, and I'm seeing Wasteland 3 on there, and it's like I remember the original Wasteland coming out,
When was
and
that?
that was you'll have to Google that one. I think it was 87.
Let me take a look. Yeah, I love that old art style too. Like, I don't know, something about the old way they had to deal with pixelation and stuff like that really like was super cool to me. Because even
I'm guessing Wasteland was 87, but I'm not too sure.
yeah, I have the Wikipedia page up. Let's see, 88 it says, but that might be the American release date.
So
Yeah,
it's
88.
around that period. I
It's-
remember.
It's made by EA. Or that's what it says. I don't know if that's the original publisher. Maybe
I
EA bought
can't
it up.
remember. I can't remember. I remember games like The Last Ninja, Shinobi, Wave the Exploding Fist, Turrican, which was a shooter platform, R-Type, Space Invaders, Pac-Man. I remember when Pac-Man was really, really popular and a lot of people played it.
I still like Pac-Man. I'll play some Pac-Man. I really like Galaga. Like that's my like old school game. You know what I mean? I don't know. Something about Galaga does it for me. I love that game. It's really hard though.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like games I hammered. I hammered the football games were always
mhm.
popular, the racing, and I played a lot of the platform games because platform games were very common then. I
Yeah,
remember Ocean Software doing the movie tie-in to Batman, which was the original, which is the Tim Burton Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack
yeah.
Nicholson. They had the game for that. I remember playing that. I remember RoboCop. Um, I remember the Turtles game.
Yeah, a lot of licensed games back in those times too.
Yeah,
They
Double
probably sold.
Dragon.
Yeah. There's
And
a
then
whole collection in that library. But anyways, go ahead.
yeah, the 80s came, 90s. We technology got better. We got um better variety. I'm just trying to remember. I will probably be very wrong on dates because what came out in the late 80s, what came out in the early 90s
Right.
is like when
It's
you think
been a while.
88 was 98. It's like 32 years ago. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember things from like when I'm like 10 or 11. It's like
Right.
it ain't happening. But games changed, so we got things like Secret of Monkey Island when the LucasArts had a lot of big hits, games like that. The original Doom came in, Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah.
I know I didn't get to play those pretty much early on. I think it was like a couple of years later before I could get them.
Right.
Before I got a chance to play them properly.
I was very sheltered from like PC games in particular because we didn't have one. So I saw Doom for the first time in like 2005. So I feel you on being late to the party on that.
No, I might have been about a year out.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
So I remember like the original. I remember where the Sims came from, because I remember Sim City.
Okay.
I remember If I remember rightly, Sims was kind of, think of the houses in Sim City. That's basically, if you zoomed in on Sim City, that's kind of think where the idea of Sims came from.
Yeah. Because
I remember Populous. Like I remember like the Peter Molyneux games and things like that.
interesting. Because like I'm not super familiar with that
lots
time
of games.
period. No, go ahead.
So like the 90s came and you got probably bigger jumps in the 90s than you did the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Because you started getting bigger scope to do things. I mean,
Right.
in 97, I think, was it 97? Rare gave us probably the most loved games of all time in GoldenEye, and amazing. Then
Yeah,
it's like it's like, oh my God, he really looks like such and such and such and such, and these look really good.
right.
And you look at the visuals now, and you think, no, they don't look like Pierce
Yeah,
Brosnan and Sean Bean or Job. They look very off.
yeah. They're mostly stretched JPEGs, right? Over like
Yeah,
polygons. Yeah,
but then you think we're going nearly 25 years on. I'm just trying to remember what
see, because
we
my
got a lot of. We got a lot of FMV games
yeah, I recall that
because
time period.
I think the most famous one was it Wing Commander?
Not sure.
Was it? Um, was it Wing Commander? It had Mark. I'm sure it had Mark Hamill in and things like that.
That's crazy because I remember FMVs, like they were really trying to like make them a thing, and that's really kind of the prototype for what we see now with like, Detroit and things like that, right? I'm not saying they're the same.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's kind of the basis from where those games came from. So it was Wing Commander.
Wing Commander was around. It was they had all sorts. They had a TV series, full motion video sequences, and that'll be late 90s.
Yeah, I'm seeing
Mid to
here. Began in 1990. The first one came out in 1990.
so they are. And games started proving. I mean, it came from the desert, which was inspired by a film from the 50s called Them.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going, what's that? Well, the film Them, set in the 50s, was set in New Mexico, and it was about the nuclear testing had produced massive giant ants. Think eight-legged freaks, but instead of the spiders, you've got ants that size,
Right.
and you've got an idea. And it came from the desert, was taking the premise of that. And what was quite weird is they made a film based on the game. It's like,
Yeah,
so there's a film based on the game, based off a film.
of course.
So, and then look at the Xbox. We're going to have a game coming out, a survival game coming out very soon. We're going to get that scope of feel with Grounded. It's kind of shrunk, and you've got giant
Yeah.
ants and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really good film, a game for the Ghostbusters, first Ghostbusters film.
Mm-hmm.
We started going into this millennium. We were getting games like we're not far off the era of like the Half-Lives, the Counter-Strikes, the original
Yeah, we're
Call
not
of
that far
Duty.
off.
Um,
Because I think the first COD came out in like 2004 or something.
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah, first-person shooters started taking a bit of a bigger scope.
Yeah. Well, between Call of Duty and Halo, I think really were the two that really kind of pushed those into like being mainstays, and then obviously online gaming really pushed those into being what they are now, right?
Yeah, but the types of games I've played haven't varied much over the years. They may have expanded, but I've always always liked racing games. I've always liked my sports games.
Right.
I've always enjoyed my first-person shooters from when they came. I got to play them until now. I enjoyed my RPG games because I did like Hero Quest, Space Crusade, which are based off the board games.
Right.
Up to like games like Eye of the Beholder, Vampire Masquerade Redemption, and then towards like 2000, I just got burnt out on them, and I didn't touch. I don't think I touched an RPG again until a few months before Witcher 3. I got burnt out, and I remember seeing
Yeah.
the trailer for Witcher 3, and I thought, this looks good. I want to play this. And it's an RPG. And I went, oh no,
Oh
another
no.
RPG. But I thought, well, I like this. And I remember buying Dragon Age Inquisition cheap just to see whether I could get back into these again. I enjoyed what I played of that. And I've picked Witcher up, and I mean, I've then since gone and got Skyrim. I've got a few RPGs from, like, say, you could say AC Odyssey.
Right.
I'm trying to think of other RPGs that have hit.
Yeah, because you haven't really played as far as since you and I have really known each other. The big ones you already kind of named off. I mean, I guess the remake Final Fantasy VII is still kind of an RPG. I
enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
that was really good. I feel like you could more classify Witcher and Final Fantasy VII remake into a closer category than you could like. I feel like they're more action-oriented RPGs. You know what I mean? It's in terms of like, because I've been going back and playing, like, for example, I play Final Fantasy VIII, and that's very, very different from those types of games. Whereas they tend to be more minute-to-minute fun than the older games. So I could totally see getting burnt out because I quit gaming for a long time too, or just gaming in general for a long time. I missed most of last gen, to be honest. So, because I played a handful of games, but mostly what I had played was like Arkham and stuff like that, Skyrim, and I think I played a couple of Call of Duties. That was really about it.
I've never suffered as yet a gaming burnout. I just switch games. I got burned out on RPGs, and at the minute I find platform is a bit. Ugh.
Yeah.
I can't be doing the platform games anymore. Whereas 20 years ago I might have enjoyed them.
Fair enough. Yeah, it depends on the genre for me personally, but I can totally understand that. The wife and I were playing Captain Toad, which is way more child oriented than I thought. Like, the puzzle solving is not that in depth or that detailed. It's more oriented to, like, play together as a family, I think, than it was intended to be like a solo player game. So I can kind of understand that. I think there's a skill gap to consider too, because like if you're, I don't know if this is for everybody, but like if I'm not particularly challenged to a certain degree, or I don't find something challenging, whether it be like the story is dragging me along mentally or something, you know what I mean? Then I typically don't have interest in games. Like if it's just everything about it is just super easy or just not that interesting to me, I'll put it down. But
I like games that make me think as well. I always have, from Kevin Tom's Football Manager back from 1980. Heck, how 84 to I mean, I'm trying to 100% one on the minute there. I don't know if I got it with Games of Gold or I thought Games of Gold. It's Death Squared. It's a puzzle thing. I've had Talos Principle, The Witness, Turing Test. These are like puzzle games. I mean, I got 100%. I got all achievements on Xbox for Turing Test. I've got one to get on Death Squared. I beat the Talos Principle and the DLC. I beat The Witness.
The Witness was tough. I had a real hard time with that one, if I'm honest.
I finished it.
Well, congrats to you, because I gave up, like, I think, because it opens up, and once it opens up into that, like, more garden area where you can, like, go on the, like, I forget, I'm really wrecking my brain for it right now, but, like, I think there's, like, these, like, wooden platform sections with, like, switches and stuff. Pretty much at that point, I was like, I'm done. This is too much for me. I'm not smart enough for this.
No, I finished. What did I finish it on Xbox or PS4? I cannot remember. Because I've got it on both. Because I think I bought it on one and it was free on the other.
I think it's come free on both at this point, but yeah.
I bought the Talos Principle on PS4, and I won a competition with Windows Central on Twitter. Or it was a draw. It was like comment and I got a message and they gave me the code for Talos Principle.
Very nice.
I'm just trying to find this on here while I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
I know I have it on.
Well, we could probably search your gamer score up too, can't we? Probably do that.
My gamer score's just under 80,000.
Jeez. How do I even find that? Because I know like the PlayStation community has like whatever. They have what do you call it? What's it called? PSN trophies or something, I think is what it's called. Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
your
you can...
Xbox Live account. Okay, cool. I'm not pulling this up.
Yeah,
like, it's not on video, but
my gamer score is 79,993.
Yeah, you're just under just under 80,000, but that's still pretty impressive.
I think I started this gen at 12.
Jeez, you're not really an achievement guy either, though, from what I know.
No. I'll if I'm like a couple off and I think they're doable, like I've got to Death Squared and I've got this like one achievement left.
Right.
It's like I think it's do 9 levels in a row without dying. It's
Jeez.
Like, and I know I can do 9 levels in a row without dying because I did 8 in a row yesterday. I thought, and I did one today. It's like, oh, you got to do it 9 in one sitting. Okay, that's easily doable.
Right. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot where you're like, you'll get close, but you haven't. Oh shit! I was trying to see which achievements you were missing. Cause I was looking at Hellblade and I was like, you only really go all in if you're like really in love with the game and you've been there. Like you're already like pretty close or whatever. Like saw Maneater. I know we talked about that a while back that you got pretty close or you ended up finishing that.
I've got every achievement on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I still haven't given it the time yet. Maybe it'll hit Game Pass at some point, but I've heard very good things about it. And so like, and I think that's important to talk about with taste, you know, because like you play a lot of different stuff. Honestly, there's a few things I know for sure you avoid, but for the most part,
I mean, I look at my installed at the minute. I'll go with selections. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Right. I love that. Beyond Blue, which was the one with done with like the BBC and the Blue Planet team. I loved. I've got the Crew 2 installing. Borderlands 3, I've got Control there. Modern Warfare, Dead Rising 4, Desperados 3, Forza Horizon 4, Ghostbusters a video game, Mafia 2, Mafia 3, Jurassic World Evolution, Minecraft, No Man's Sky. I'm just going through examples.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, Resident Evil 3, Outer Worlds, Observation, which was something that caught my eye in Game Pass, Rainbow Six Siege. Anybody that owes me will not be surprised at that.
Yeah, right.
I dread to think how many hours I have on that game. It's easier to put it in. It's easier to put in days, I think.
Yeah.
Division 2, Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
There's 2 in here that I'm scrolling through your list that I find particularly funny that I wanted to ask about. 1.
87 days on Rainbow.
Holy shit.
And I'm not even in the top 5 on my list. The most
of playtime.
Person who's somebody's got 100.
Do you feel like we had anything maybe we didn't get to discuss that you were looking forward to talking about?
Just trying to think. I go. It's weird because this is normally the post E3, getting ready for Gamescom.
Yep.
Era, which
we're not really.
I know E3. No, I know E3 gets a lot of flack and people bash it, but You know what? I've missed E3 this year.
I
I
kind of
really
feel
have.
that. I think maybe my opinion will change after all the announcements kind of get pushed out, but right now I'm definitely feeling that. I'm definitely in agreement with you on that. I'm feeling kind of like I'm like, where are the announcements? You know what I mean? I'm kind of feeling that the hype is just not here yet. You know?
Because what have we had? We've had an EA event, which they gave us two sports games and Star Wars Squadrons.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the gameplay trailer of that still yet. Probably because much as I love Star Wars, and that's flight based, and that's not normally my kind of thing. So I'm kind
Yeah.
of. Meh.
Yeah, I feel
And
that.
this, we had the third party Xbox event, which I thought was unfairly bashed. I enjoyed it. We've had the PlayStation event. There were some epic games in there.
Right.
There's some games in there with it completely. Oh God, no.
Yeah, not there were some not so good ones in
Yeah,
there, to be
Bug Snack.
honest.
Yes, yes, Bug Snacks. I'm looking at you. The thing that with like walking, talking strawberries and all sorts. I don't know what on earth that was. I don't know who agreed that one. But yeah.
Yeah, that one's funky. I don't know about all that.
And what have we got? We've got Ubisoft on Sunday, Ubisoft
Mm,
Forward, and then we've got the Xbox 2020 in the 23rd.
yeah, and we got Devolver on Saturday, I think, but Devolver's not nearly in the same league of hype usually. Not that there's anything wrong with their games. I think they have some probably pretty good games, but they're just not looked forward to the same way. Even if they disappointed, they won't like be bashed like EA was.
What was the out of like, the past couple of years? What would have been the biggest Devolver titles?
They own a lot of really weird stuff, like Enter the Gungeon, I think, and stuff like that.
Was My Friend Pedro there?
I think so. They publish really weird stuff.
Yeah, that was a brilliant game, but an awful control system.
Let's see. Their most recent releases were Exit the Gungeon, My Friend Pedro. Their ones coming up are Enter the Gungeon. It looks like DLC. No, it's an arcade game. It looks like. Uh, then they have Serious Sam. They have that Carry On game.
Yeah,
And
Serious Sam's at PC and then console at some probably next year.
yeah, it's saying just right now Windows and Stadia. So it looks like Stadia probably got an exclusive deal on that. Carry On looked
Yeah,
cool. I thought that looked good.
I haven't seen that one.
It's all right.
But yeah, this summer's the period when I get my anticipation ready for. I've done this for years for the next few months. I've kind of been robbed of it.
Yeah,
Feel
it's definitely
it feels,
broken up into a different way with COVID and everything.
and it's like, well, I, because we've got no E3, we'd have had a Ubisoft event, so we would have known what was happening by now because
Yeah,
it would have been at E3 and done it.
I think that'll probably be the
Um,
first good one of the pack because they got Assassin's Creed and I'm sure that the releases that were supposed to come out earlier this year are going to get highlighted and probably have a next gen release date.
yeah, they had Watch Dogs Legion in the teaser video.
Okay, well that's good. That's like probably my most hyped Ubisoft game. I don't really play Ubisoft games for the most part, but that one looked really good.
I know they leaked and it got took down was the Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay.
Yeah, I
That
saw
they
that.
had a half an hour. I've seen a bit of the footage.
They look good.
Um, it looks very like if you're comfortable with Odyssey, you'll be comfortable with this type thing.
I figured as much. I think this is the one I'll probably jump into, um,
Yeah,
especially if it
yeah, I'll be.
launches next gen.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's going to launch when the consoles hit. I'll be getting it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think we know. I think we know somebody else that might be getting it as well, a couple
Yeah.
of times over.
Good friend Billy, always buying games multiple times. I,
Well,
I
yeah,
gotta
so
ask him about that when we do his interview. I gotta ask him why he does that. I want to know.
but he's got. I think he has Arkham Knight on Xbox, PS4, and PC. I think he has Assassin's Creed Odyssey on Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Lord. At least on PC, I think you can justify it because PC is kind of like Switch, where I think you're gonna get a different enough experience with it. But
I have. I think I have a couple of games on Xbox One, PS4, and Switch, but I've picked them up on sale. I've got Resident Evil 4 on Xbox One and Switch. I've got Resident Evil, the remake, on Xbox One, PS4, and Switch, but I bought it on the Switch, and it was a free game on PS Plus.
gotcha.
So I didn't technically, and I bought it on the Switch, so I can. That's a game I can take with me. I like Resident Evil,
Gotcha.
but maybe me. I always look forward to the E3. I always look forward to Gamescom. I always look forward to Games Awards and all the shows where they show the games. And I've been robbed of that, and I have to watch it in bits and bobs and various streams, and it's like I don't know. I like to see it all at once.
Yeah.
So, from what I've seen from now till next year, we've got Spider-Man, Miles Morales, which I'm looking forward to.
Yes. Very
We've
much
got
so.
we've got Horizon Forbidden West. I think that's what it's called, is it? The
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn sequel.
Yeah, I think it's called Forbidden West. It's a sequel, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm getting that. I love Horizon Zero Dawn.
it's very good.
We've got, yep. If you've got PC on Steam or PS4 and you haven't played it, get it played, get it bought, get it played. You will not regret it. We've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla coming. I'm looking forward to that. I enjoyed the more modern, open world Assassin's Creed than the previous ones.
I think that's fair. I got burned out on Assassin's Creed. I'd played every Assassin's Creed until oh shit, not or except Unity. I haven't played Unity and Rogue. Those are the two I haven't played prior to the RPGs. And I think the last one I played was Syndicate. And I tried to play it, and I was like, oh my god, this game runs like shit. I couldn't play it.
I can't stand Syndicate.
It's not
I
only
know
not very
Billy-
good, it's just it
I
doesn't
know Billy
run
likes
well.
it. I don't like it. I can't get into it.
I
find
made
it. I find it clunky.
Yeah, it's clunky, and on top of that, like I made it to that train sequence or that like train boss fight. I don't know how far you got into it, but I didn't make it very far. And I made it to the train sequence, and it just
I've
like
done that. I think I've done that.
it
I
freaked
think I've got
out.
past that.
It couldn't render the train moving, and this was on a PS4. You know what I mean?
Mine's on Xbox.
And this was what prior to S and X, right? Being launched, so it was OG Xbox probably at that point. OG Xbox One, I mean.
Could be, yeah.
Because I think I have to look at Syndicate's release date, but I'm pretty sure the RP because it took like a year off with Origins, so they probably
They did,
scrapped
yeah.
one. I would assume. I'm sure there was one meant to come out in between that they just scrapped and were like, screw it, who cares? We'd rather just not put out another crap one that nobody cares about. 2015. So yeah, I think that's prior to those the updated systems, but it just ran like crap. That was the first game I
Yeah.
played on next gen that I was like, this is not optimized well at all. Like what the fuck? So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at my ready to install. I see Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, Revelations, Unity, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Odyssey is there, but it's installed. Origins, Rogue Remastered, ETO Collection, Syndicate. I've got them all that I can see, but
Did they have a whole huge collection, right? I've been waiting for that to go on a good sale, to be honest.
yeah, they have. It's Black Flag, Syndicate, and Unity, isn't it? Or something?
There's
Or
one
Rogue,
that's
Syndicate,
like it's like the Assassin's Creed bundle or something, and it's like absurd. It's like it's usually like $200 or something. Let me see if I
yeah,
can find it
that's
on the store.
yeah. But Valhalla's one I'm looking forward to. Legion, Watchdog Legion, or whatever. I'm holding fire because I want to know: are they going to be able to advertise what they promised originally, or has the game changed that much? I don't know. Nobody knows. So my hype on that is borderline.
I
I'm
don't know.
curious on
Watch
I'm
Dogs?
curious on Gods and Monsters. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious on Gods and Monsters. Um, Rainbow Six Quarantine. They did an event called Outbreak for Siege, and it was tough.
Yeah, I assumed so. That game is pretty rough in terms of like how the difficulty. I mean, it's not a very. It's pretty skill based.
Um, Rainbow Six Siege is easy to pick up, but Outbreak was a lot different, and a lot of people found that a lot harder. So
Yeah.
I'm curious. I need to see a lot more on that to even jump in. I might not even jump in roughly on day one on that because of I don't know what I'm getting with it.
Right.
They have that battle royale thing, which to be honest, I don't care two hoots about.
Yeah, that's right. They did. They did just announce that. I was like, that seems like it might be okay. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a play and see kind of what's up. I don't think it'll be
They
great.
put a They've put a battle royale mode in the crew too. I'm curious to how the hell that works.
Yeah, right. Because it's all car based,
Well, they've
right?
got
Vehicle based.
well, there's battle royale in Forza Horizon 4.
Wait, Battle Royale's taking over.
Yeah, but with Forza Horizon 4, you don't shoot. You find another. You've got the zone which shrinks as a battle royale, and you've got the other players in the game, a la battle royale. But if you count them, instead of shooting them, you challenge them to a race and race them to a checkpoint. That's how you beat them.
Oh, okay. I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything really wrong with that.
But yeah, games. Yeah, so yeah, I mean,
I think this is the one I was referring to. Legendary bundle. It's Black
I
Flag,
haven't seen.
Rogue, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, and Odyssey, and it's $60 right now, but it's $200 usually.
That's if you haven't got that. How many of those do you not have? Because for 60, that's
I don't
incredible.
have any of those, so
I would grab that.
yeah, it's not on the Xbox store from what I can find. It seems to only be on the PlayStation store, which is weird. Like I searched the Microsoft store, I can find it.
I was gonna say it's worth grabbing.
Yeah, I would rather grab them on Xbox, to be honest, at this point, because I feel like my X will run it better than my Pro. But
true.
Let me see.
But Ubisoft haven't really given anything else that I'm excited on because we don't know if we're getting a Far Cry 6. If the rumors are true, then yeah I'm excited for that. I love Far Cry.
Yeah, there are rumors that just started circulating too about who that might be. I think that's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah, all we know is it's going to be a tropical setting and it's got from Breaking Bad and Moff Gideon from Mandalorian, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, which could be cool. He's really interesting.
He's confirmed he's doing a big game.
Right.
So we don't know what it is.
I
But
hope
yeah, that's another thing
that is the case.
I love. From the the PlayStation, so we had Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village, whatever you want to call it. It looks fantastic, but I don't know if I can cope with werewolves in a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, me and Adam have discussed that a bit too. It's one of those things where we were talking about it on a stream actually. I guess I want to touch on this and then touch on next gen, and then we can kind of wrap up because I don't want to go too long. But also,
cool.
I want to make sure we're keeping on track because you and I will talk all day about whatever. Um,
Yeah, that is a problem.
yeah, we,
Yeah.
we love to talk, so it's not a problem. But I just want to make sure we stick to it. So real quick with Resident Evil 8, yeah, we were talking about it. They put out a pretty extensive survey. I don't know if you had seen it on Twitter regarding
No,
Village.
no, I haven't seen this. I know there is one, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's fairly lengthy, to be completely honest, and it's really like they want to know, does the branding work? Does it really, like, do you understand that it's a main series Resident Evil game, or like kind of your opinions on what the title should be of the game? And then they ask like what your expectations are from the game, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then they ask about your experience with the series as a whole, um, and it's really thorough and in depth. So I thought that was pretty
I have
good.
to have a look at it because I love Resident Evil.
Yeah, I'll send it to you over on Twitter, because I just
Yeah,
sent it to Adam the other day.
yeah, send it over. I will have a look through. But yeah, I love the franchise with a couple of exceptions being Operation Raccoon City and Resident Evil 6.
Yeah,
Wasn't a fan of either of those.
I know most
But
people
no, I
don't
love the
like them
franchise.
that much. I think when we were playing through 6, we're like, I think the reason why me and him like it is because we play it co-op, and it's just so like ridiculous that we enjoy it. Like, there's the like melee finisher moves, and like one of Leon's, it's like a WWE move where he like grabs the zombie around its head and slams it into the into the ground like he's a wrestler or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
But I guess I want to end on next gen because you and I have discussed it a bit. And I want to do like a general discussion with a couple of you guys once like we get full details, because I think I don't think we're there yet. I don't think everybody's willing to reveal their cards, especially for a lot of people, price is going to be a big deal. So I guess where are you sitting on that? Because when we talked about it last, you seemed pretty hopeful on the Xbox and a little skeptical on PlayStation.
I'm getting both.
I figured as much. I'm pretty much in the same boat at this point.
Plan is bearing stock.
Right.
And being able to get to it and state of the world it is. If everything was all good and rosy, I'd be waiting for them to announce the pre-orders, go up pre-order both, and then a week prior to launch, go and pay for them.
Yeah.
With my X and my Switch. And then I would have gone up for the midnight launch to pick them both up whenever they were.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. With my Move, unfortunately, I kind of have to wait until closer to launch to pre-order, but who knows when those will go up.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Both of them. I've got a 4K TV, so it's not one of the 2.1 fancy newer 4K TVs, but it's 4K and it's got HDR on it, so
that's all that really much matters at this point, right?
Yeah,
because we're not going to be seeing much more than that for the next couple of years anyways, right? You assume? Because we're barely hitting 30k, or 30 FPS 4K right now, at least on consoles.
There's a lot of, well, at least, and the rumors are for the next gen that it's going to be native 4K 30 frames.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people like 60. The only game I've really even played where I noticed a difference was the remaster of Last of Us, where it had 60 frames. That's the only one where I've really even noticed the difference. I really don't pay attention to frames much, to be honest.
I think the reason when they're factoring in this 30 FPS, I think people are forgetting we're getting ray tracing.
Yeah, ray tracing is going to be way bigger of a deal than 60 frames.
Yeah, native 4K with ray tracing and 60 frames.
Yeah, that's a way bigger deal in my opinion than just 4K 60.
When was it Codemasters or whoever came up and said Dirt 5 is going to be 120 frames?
It might have been. I know Dirt 5 definitely had some talk about frames, but I'd be interested to see that.
They did have a list of, I don't know if it's still this, but if you Google Gears 5 120 FPS, you'll find that they're optimizing Gears 5 for 120 frames.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I see that it supports 120 on PS5 and Series X. So that's cool. I'm kind of impressed by that because I didn't think PlayStation was going to get the same level of graphical fidelity this gen.
And just before people get confused, when I've just mentioned Gears 5, we backtracked to Dirt 5 there.
Yeah.
With PS5. Gears 5, just to disappoint you, Gears 5 is not coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, we need to, I guess we should make that clear. Though Xbox seems much more open to the possibility of those types of things happening than PlayStation is.
Another thing I'm liking with the next gen is, I don't know whether Sony doing this, but Microsoft have they put a thing out. Was it today? I sent somebody it, so.
I think you and I are going to talk about the same thing, so I hope you don't mind if I interrupt. But is it the next gen like version games thing that came out today? I think that was today or yesterday. I saw that.
Microsoft reportedly against publishers for charging for Xbox Series X upgrades.
Yeah, they don't want people to do that.
Now, if people are all thinking, but aren't they doing it free on Xbox? Well, yes, Cyberpunk is going to be a free upgrade. I think Ubisoft said Rainbow Six Siege is going to be a free upgrade. Dirt 5 is going to be free. But 2K announced, excuse me while I lose my voice.
Oh, it's all good.
2K announced with NBA 2K21 that the pre-orders are out for September, I believe. I don't follow the NBA games, so I
don't either.
Didn't really pay much attention. But they've put two versions out: a Mamba edition, which assumes the legendary.
Yeah, it's like their legendary highest tier one.
So if everybody buys the standard on Xbox One or PS4, and then goes to launch up their set, well, I'll use PS4 as an example because Xbox One and the Xbox Series X has the backwards compatibility with every Xbox One game.
So it won't matter.
You buy it on PS4. You might not be able to play it on PS5. We don't know.
Right, which is really fucking bothersome.
Unless you bought the Legendary Edition, then you get the free upgrade. But if you bought the Standard Edition, you want the PS5 version, you have to pay the same price again. Well,
yeah,
in fact,
I didn't even know that.
$10 more. It's $10 more. Yeah, the Standard Edition doesn't have the upgrade. The Legendary Edition does, I think that's what Microsoft are hinting out of the article. I haven't read the article actually. I've just seen the headline.
Yeah, let me take a look.
I'm just scrolling through.
Yeah, me too. I was trying to find the versions. Like the actual...
I'll send you this actually share copy.
Yeah, if you would, just because when I was looking at it before, I was just like, I don't know, I was appalled by the fact that, I don't know, here's the thing, maybe they meant well with like the Kobe edition, but like, and I don't know how much you're into basketball culture in general, but I wasn't too big into it, but I was for a bit, and like, you know, he was somebody who was important to that community or whatever, and so it's just like, yeah, we're gonna try to like do this nice thing and like memorialize him, but also like we're gonna charge you more money for him, like for his edition, and it's just like, I don't know, it seems, you know, kind of scummy to me personally. So I wrote a tweet on it, and I was like, great, I'm glad you could take advantage of Kobe one last time before he died. Good job.
Yeah, I think the NBA 2K, the standard here for Xbox One and PS4 is £55, and I think it's £90 for the Legendary Edition, and it's the next gen versions are £65.
Jeez.
So to get both, you have to pay £90.
That's ridiculous.
Minimum.
Yeah, I just don't.
And people are going on about EA doing, well, EA are doing it for a limited time only. Yes, they are doing it for a limited time only. but you have the time you have to redeem it for, say, FIFA and well, I'll use Madden because Madden was the one that they're referencing in this article. You have
Right.
till Madden 22 launches to upgrade Madden 21.
Oh, that's a bit better. So what? You have a year?
It launches every year, so you have till the next version comes out.
Well, that's not bad. I don't think that's nearly as bad, but it's still like, why is it got to be timed? Just like let it be a thing. At least with
And
Xbox, you don't have to
by
worry.
which
It's just backwards compatible, I guess.
and by that point in time, anyway, if you have EA access, you'll be able to just download it anyway.
Right, exactly. So
You'd be cheaper just buying a year's EA access.
right, because it's how long after release do they usually come out?
FIFA 21 hit 21. FIFA 20 hit the vaults last month before,
Okay,
May,
so
June,
not too bad. So like 8, 9
It's-
months. It's not terrible.
and 21 comes out in October. So, yes, EA getting a lot of flack for it, but I think so the flack, if you actually dig deeper into the time and it makes no sense for them to do something that's annual to say, right, it's here forever. So if you buy FIFA 21 3 years after the launch date, you can have a free upgrade.
Yeah, right.
It's anybody that is buying that game but if they were going to wait a year to get the new consoles or next year, then if they're buying the game every year, they're going to be got the next one anyway.
Right,
So-
exactly. And at that point, you probably have next gen because the shortages will probably be over at that point.
So I don't see a huge issue with if they'd had like till the end of the year, then I would have been a bit well.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
would have
bit
been a
shit.
bit. Yeah. Because it's what, FIFA that's doing that people are upset about, right?
It's FIFA and Madden that have this thing.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I thought one of them was super short, like 3 months or something.
I'm on the Xbox. I'll have a look on the Xbox store and I'll tell you on both.
Sure.
Let's have a look. I'll do Madden first.
Because I'm sure it's on there. I'm sure it says in detail or whatever.
Yeah, they're both on the store.
Hmm.
Good job my TV is muted because I've got the big Madden screen.
Yeah, right.
Entitled for Madden NFL 21 Xbox One before the release of Madden NFL 22, an upgrade to Madden NFL 21 Xbox Series X at no additional cost. That's what it says for Madden. So you've got till the launch of Madden 22.
Oh, it's not terrible, I guess. It's manageable.
And I'm 99% sure that there's FIFA 21. That FIFA is exactly the same wording. Swap Madden for FIFA.
Okay, fair enough. I thought it was FIFA was shorter. I'm glad we corrected that though.
I'm just going to double check because I'm on the here now.
Yeah, might as well.
Entitled for FIFA 21 Xbox One before the release of FIFA 22, an upgrade to FIFA 21 Xbox Series X at no additional cost. So you're going to have till October, basically, 2021.
Well, that's not terrible then. I thought it was way worse than that. It's still dumb, but it's not as dumb as I thought it was going to be.
It's not as bad as the 2K.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about. It's 2K that's pretty bad. So, but
Yeah.
whatever. We'll see more as I guess time goes on.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think that's about a good amount of time. I think we discussed a lot of good things. I appreciate you coming and talking to the people, letting them know about you. It's been a good time, always.
I think anybody that's seen the impressions, seen the stuff, come by the fog and whatnot,
Right.
Well, if they haven't come across me or know who I am, then well, I'd be very, very, very surprised.
That's true. A lot of the impressions are from people in Fog that just prefer to watch versus read. So, but nonetheless, I felt it was important that the people got to know you a little bit just in case, or at least have this as an archive in case somebody stumbles upon us or whatever, you know. For that one day when we get huge, be the next IGN, take over IGN. I'm gonna buy IGN just to shut it down. That would be a waste of money, but it's okay.
That sounds like Ninja said he was going to buy a bank to foreclose somebody's house.
I'm gonna pull on EA. I'm gonna buy them just to shut them down. Good old EA. All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on, Darrell. Thank you for answering our very important questions.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And I guess we'll see you guys next time, and whatever we do, I'm sure you and I will do something before this even comes out, but because we got some stuff
Before
in the works.
too long, yeah.
Probably discuss Xbox with Billy. Probably do that Xbox showcase together. Kind of do a little review of it. That could be good.
And by the time this hits YouTube and you can see the video, and feel free to comment anything you want to ask.
Of course. I'm sure. I think you have access to the YouTube channel, but if not, I'll give it to you, and you can. That way, you can get some direct responses or whatever. That'd be fun.
You can generally reply to the comments anyway, can't you? So somebody can comment and I can comment. So
very true. All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate everybody for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.
It's good night for me.
Yeah, exactly. All right, bye everybody.